Water. We can't live without it. But in the world today, a lot of people can barely live with it. It's estimated that 1.8 billion people cook with, wash with, and drink contaminated water. 2.5 billion lack access to sanitation. In developing countries, people suffering from diseases caused by bad water, inadequate sanitation, and poor hygiene occupy half the hospital beds. Universal access to sanitation and clean water would save 2.5 million lives per year. Sounds expensive, right? But every dollar invested in water and sanitation returns on average more than $4 in increased productivity. Bottom line, we can't afford not to safeguard the world's water supply.
Sorry to interrupt the chatter. It sounds nice. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, where Tulsa's business and community leaders gather to do great things in our community and around the world. Last week, we met at Celia Clinton, and this was one of the table settings. I've had this in my office all week because whenever I look at it, it just makes me happy. The children always make us gifts like that, and I have a letter, too, I wanted to read you. They wrote some cards. And this one is from Jerry. And Jerry says, "Thank you, Rotary Club, for the nice things you do for our school." Isn't that nice? I mean, they really appreciate what we do out there. So thank you. Thank you to everyone that was able to make it. It was raining last week, just like it is this week. Thank you for making it out in the rain today. Today we celebrate our Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation, our local foundation. So when we get going, sit back and enjoy, because this foundation is all about you, everyone here. Everyone gives, and we have the receivers up here in front. So welcome, welcome. Let's take a minute and say hello to each other.
Nice to see you. Where do you want us to stand, Ace? What kind of pose? You want the Three Amigos salute?
Yeah. I've got one at home. That'll be good. I've got one at home.
I need to do that.
Maybe I should have started this the next week. Okay, thank you. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, it seems like I'm always interrupting the fun, but that's my job. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We got a full program. We got a full hour packed in here. Past President Bob Sade is going to lead us in our invocation. Carl Vincent's going to lead us in our song and pledge, and then Michael Turner will introduce our visitors. Bob?
Join me in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we stand here today with heavy hearts and compassion for all of those who are suffering. We ask for healing for those affected by the senseless events in Las Vegas. We ask for relief for those affected by the storms. We thank you for all of those who have rushed in to help those most vulnerable. Guide us as Rotarians here in our own community, that we may do one good deed that might lead to another and another, until finally those in the greatest need in our country feel the kindness of their fellow man. Amen.
Please join me in thanking our fabulous accompanist, Tom Wolf. We're going to sing America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon. Welcome again to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. I'm going to introduce our guests, but I also will introduce the host Rotarian. So we will ask that the Rotarian as well as their guests stand up, please, and we'll hold our applause to the end, and then we will also introduce our visiting Rotarians. And we have quite a few folks in attendance today. Some are with some of our grant recipients, and they will be introduced at a later time. Just didn't want anyone to think that we're being slighted. So everyone will get introduced, but welcome. Our Rotarian is Peter Jansen, Blake Gossett. Good to have you here. Robert Babcock has Craig Conrad. Jerry Barentos has Shelley Holmes. Terry Heritage has John Tanner. It's a guess. And Joe Moran has the lovely Darcy Moran. He told me to say that. So there you go. Good to have you here. And our visiting Rotarian today, Philip Jackson from the Tulsa Sunrise Club. Good to have you here. Recognize everyone here in attendance today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, Carl, and Michael. We appreciate your help. And welcome visitors. Thank you for joining us today. Again, especially on this rainy day. It's tough to get out in the rain, but we appreciate having you here. We hope you'll consider joining us. You'd be joining a great team of, again, business communities and leaders. And as you're going to hear today, we get involved in some amazing, we have some amazing partner organizations that we get involved with. And so you'd have a lot of fun giving back to your community, and so we'd love to have you. So I'd like to thank this week's meeting sponsors, whose sponsorships help defray the cost of running our club. Terry Heritage with Interim Health Care, Roger Dunham with Access Realty, Tim Lyons with Tulsa Teachers Credit Union, and Rod Robards with Southern Hills Vet. Let's give them all a great thank you. And as always, we encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. And let's thank, too, our meeting volunteers this week who really had their arms full this week. This is a full program. They've been working hard for over a week on this. So let's tell our volunteers thank you. Okay, so we're going to dive right into this. Again, we are here today celebrating our local Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation. Alan Edwards had a dream of the Rotary Club of Tulsa being able to reach out into the community and help more than maybe we could just as a club. So his dream was to set up this 501c3 foundation in 1972. And since that time, we have made donations in excess of $5.8 million to our local community and around the world. That is amazing, yes. So today, we celebrate our donors, and we're going to recognize some donors who have moved up some notches. But everyone in the Rotary Club of Tulsa is a donor. So today is a celebration of you. And we are also celebrating the recipients of our grants, and we celebrate you too. But donors, give yourself a round of applause as a pat on the back for what you're doing. Okay, so the way we're going to do this, we have 9 organizations that received grants, and these grants were given last spring. Sorry about that. So we're going to bring them up here in groups of 3, and they're going to tell a little bit about their organization and about the grant that they received from us and how they put it to use. So our first group of 3 is Daryl Weaver with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Jomora Stoll with Gatesway Foundation. If you all could make your way up up on the stage, please. And then Miranda Figueroa with A New Leaf. And Daryl, we'll let you go first.
Good afternoon. As far as Big Brothers and Big Sisters and representing them as the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Oklahoma, we thank you. I spent almost 30 years in the State Narcotics Bureau where I tried to, as the head of that agency, tried to arrest our way out of our issues in Oklahoma. And I'm here to declare that that's not going to happen. We've got to change the young people. We've got to change some generational things in Oklahoma. And we do that. One of the antidotes I've often said of incarceration is mentoring. And if we can get to these high-risk youth and we can change their path, then we can make them productive citizens, and really we all win by that. This year, we received a grant which we turned into, it was a technology grant, which we purchased computers with, which help actually safely service our mentors as we progress toward mentoring one-on-one, this golden mentoring standard with our young people in Tulsa. Last year, I want to mention this because this is really neat. The grant last year, we actually redid the area where the kids would come in. So we did this whole area with your money and your grant to make kids feel comfortable, to make them feel like that they are on the right path when they walk into our building. So again, as far as Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Oklahoma and of Tulsa, thank you so much for what you've done.
Hi, on behalf of Gatesway Foundation and the clients, we want to thank you for your donation. It means so much. Our facility houses our clients 24/7, and we try to make it as much of a home as possible. And you, in your donation, has done that. We take for granted so often going into our homes and our living rooms and sitting down and putting up our feet and watching TV, and we don't realize that there are people like our clients who don't have that capability. Your donation made that possible. What we purchased with that donation was a living room set for their day room, and they now can go in and prop up their feet and watch TV and relax. These clients have come from institutionalized living where it's industrialized, and so we were able to take and turn their day room into more of a home setting. And that's what we strive to do, is make a home for them, not an institutionalized setting anymore. It's very important for them to be integrated into society with as much normalization as possible, and you recognizing that need for them is very important. So we thank you very much.
I'm a little short, sorry. On behalf of A New Leaf, I wanted to say thank you for supporting our organization this year. A New Leaf serves adults with developmental disabilities. There are approximately 29,000 in the Tulsa area, and A New Leaf is one of the organizations that helps provide these individuals services to help maximize their independence. And one of the ways that we do that is through teaching vocational skills in a greenhouse setting where there's a lot of horticultural therapy benefits that go along with it. With the grant that we received, we were able to upgrade some of the antiquated equipment inside of our greenhouses, which our clients, where they work, growing plants, to be able to learn those job skills, and also it's also a revenue source to help support the programs and services that we provide. So we appreciate being able to maximize their workspace and give them that opportunity to continue to learn marketable job skills. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl, Jomera, and Miranda. We appreciate all that you're doing in the community through your organizations, and we're really happy that we could partner with you and help you out. So we're helping children, we're helping adults, we're helping older adults. You know, we're doing some good things out there. It's something to really be proud of. Another thing to be really proud of is our Sarge, Charles. Charles, you ready to get up here? We're always proud of Charles.
You have looked up The definition of proud, right?
No, maybe I need
You
to.
haven't?
Huh?
I asked
Okay,
him
okay.
definition of proud. I'm not sure.
Wow.
By the way, Daryl, you need to join our club. We need that good-looking head going on here. I'm telling you, man, I was impressed.
I thought that was you coming up here earlier.
Well, I know. I
Got
body double.
confused.
Yeah. it's
He
exciting.
is better looking, though, I just got to say.
Wow.
No?
Where's Catherine? Now I know how she feels, right?
I had to throw that in there. I had to
Okay,
follow
we're going to do
up.
another video, Catherine. We got to bring these guys down a little bit. All right. Well, sad news this week. Tom Petty passed away.
Yeah,
You a fan of
that's
Tom?
sad. Yep,
Everybody
yep,
a fan of Tom?
absolutely.
So we got some fines that are coming out, and really the cool thing is everybody was just really saying, if we're going to do the fines, we got to put some Tom in there. So each of them selected their very own lyrics from Tom Petty to be a
Nice.
part of their fines. So we're going to share that with you as we go along, okay? By the way, on the Club Foundation, these fines do help go towards this situation, and so it is really great to have all of our recipients here today. And by giving fines, obviously it helps me look good, but also it makes our club look good because we're able to put the money towards these recipients. So here we go. Let's get started. Right off the bat, Matt Davis. All right, let me get my glasses on because I've got to read some stuff here. And you don't want to misquote Matt at all. We got a $50 fine here. Wedding anniversary, a trip to the cliff in California where I proposed was even better, but let's cap it with a $50 fine. So that was really wonderful of you. And his Tom Petty lyrics, and I'm so appreciate you picking these out for me. And then she looks me in the eye and says, "We're gonna last forever." And man, you know I can't begin to doubt it, because this feels so good and so free and so right. I know we ain't ever going to change our minds about it. So that's
Nice,
pretty good, you know, to
nice.
share with your wife and everything. So, all right. Next one up, our good friend, Kim Chapman. And Ken, he's $48, which is a unique number, but stay with me on this. For God's double blessing on me, 24 years with the perfect woman, and the opportunity to serve in the amazing town of Tulsa. And is Ken here today? Ken's not here, so you're going to have to watch the video. Zoom in on Ken's face back there. We got to make sure. But his Tom lyric themes are "out of a dream, out of the sky, into my heart, and into my life." So that's pretty romantic stuff
Wow,
going on there with
that's
him and
good
Tom.
stuff,
So,
yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
his wife too. Never mind. And then number 3, Trisha Kirkstra. Trish is celebrating her anniversary, and she had a kind of unique lyrics too. Trisha here, I'm telling you, this rain is keeping
It's
people
the
away.
rain.
I'll
Yeah,
have to
it's
tell
the
them to
rain.
get on the video, but hers was really appropriate for her personally. It says, "Hey, I was born a rebel down in Dixie on a Sunday morning. Yeah, with one foot in the grave and one foot on the pedal, I was born a rebel."
Wow.
So if you know Trish, you need to say, very selective, very good deal there. All right.
I haven't seen that side of her. That's-
Well, you know, I have. I grew
Have
up in the
you?
hotel
Okay.
business with her, and
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
it gets out of control. Seriously, it does.
It's good to know.
Good to know. Good to know. All right, and then finally we got, of course, the football tickets. Tim and Barbara Nall are always so good about passing these along, and again, the monies from these go to the Rotary Club Foundation. And always, as if you the OSU game, they'd love to treat you to a bite to eat. Got the upcoming games coming up there: OSU versus Baylor, and of course OU Texas Tech coming up as well. Their Tom lyrics are, "Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can't stand me up, or you can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down." So I think that's a very appropriate with the football season going on there. And then we had a last moment thing. 100 years is a long time, right?
That is a long time.
It's a long
yes.
time,
Yes.
right? And we celebrated a couple years back our 100th anniversary. The Sapulpa Rotary is doing their 100th dinner, our 100th celebration dinner, October 12th at Freddy's Steakhouse. The RSVP is by the 6th of October. Singles are $50, couples $90. Our very own Muzan Biggs will be the featured speaker, so that's cool. Now, Catherine DeCamp has some information on it, but I think also the Rotary office and maybe, is that what it is? Okay, all right, that's the good thing there. And I kind of selected their Tom lyric. It's, "The waiting is the hardest part. Every day you see one more card, you take it on faith, you take it to the heart. The waiting is the hardest part." And I figure if you're waiting for 100 years, that seems
Yeah.
pretty doggone appropriate, right? All right,
Excellent.
well, wonderful.
Excellent.
Well,
Excellent.
I'll let you take back over.
Thank you,
Good
Charles.
to see you.
We love you.
I
We
love you too, buddy.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, you're back.
I was so excited about the Tom Petty thing going
Yes.
on. We forgot about the Sarge photo of the week.
Uh-oh.
This is a picture from the 2017 Miss Clog Drain Pageant. And if you're wondering why this style is in, Daryl, right? We never have that problem. Casey, we never have that problem, do we? Our drains work fantastic. So anyway, just thought you might want to see that there's an actual category. And now we'll move on and keep me in mind. All right.
One of the largest philanthropic programs is
Where do
Operation
you
School
find
Bell,
these pictures?
supplying new school.
And $50 to hear Muzan speak is the bargain of the century. So if you got some time and can go help Sapulpa, that's pretty amazing. 2 clubs in this area celebrating 100 years. That's something to be proud of. Again, Rotary on the rise, Rotary on the rise. Okay, now we're going to go to our second group of recipients. So would Sharon Atchison with Assistance League of Tulsa come up here, please? And then Aaron Brook with Youth Services of Creek County. And then Cheryl Kane with Habitat for Humanity, if you'd come up. And then Sharon, we'll let you go first.
Good afternoon. I'm Sharon Atchison, President of the Assistance League of Tulsa. And we want to thank the Rotary Club for the donation they made to us of the grant. We use that money to buy T-shirts. We are providing clothing for children in the Tulsa metropolitan area, the most vulnerable children who many times families aren't able to afford the school clothes for them to go back to school and be successful. And we have found through our program that when children are clothed properly and they're proud of the clothes that they have to wear to school, their behavior improves, their attendance improves, and they feel so much better about themselves. So that's our mission. We provide 48,000 shirts for Tulsa Public School students. That's elementary through middle school. And that you at the Rotary Club help make some of that possible. We keep increasing the number we serve. We serve children in Tulsa Public Schools, but in also 13 other school districts. So we do all the surrounding school districts. We clothe the surrounding districts at Walmarts. The parents come, they meet the counselors and members of Assistance League. They're given a shopping list and an allocation of how much they have to spend. And we go from Sand Springs, Glenpool, the Broken Arrow, Owasso, all these different areas, and then several smaller school districts come and join in also. But we just want to do everything we can to try to help children, but give them that lift up. Give them that, as one little boy said, and you're going to see a video in a minute, he said, just to know somebody cares. And I hear that in what you do at Cecilia Clinton also. And that's kind of part of our passion, is to show children we care. We want you to be successful. We want you to feel good about yourselves. Thank you so much.
One of the largest philanthropic programs is Operation School Bell, supplying new school clothing for elementary-age school students in need.
You want a gray one? Okay. Let me hold this up and see if this fits you. We are clothing over 2,000 children a year here in store. And then the chapter also purchased uniform shirts, over 45,000 this year. See anything in here you like?
The need I see is unbelievable. The children we get here really, really do need our services. In fact, many more of them need our services.
When our children are selected to come to Operation School Bell, not only are the kids excited, but the parents are very excited. We don't have a hard time getting those permission slips back.
They give you a whole school outfit.
Belts, socks, shoes, clothes, jackets, school clothes.
Okay, let's try this one.
And then you get to pick stuff that you wear on an everyday basis. That looks really, really nice.
Do you want to look at the long sleeve with winter coming?
It just feels good to have something new.
That makes me feel pretty nice, knowing that, well, yeah, people care about you. People care about you.
This might not be a normal thing that they get to go and feel like they're in a store picking out brand new things that are theirs and for them. So I definitely think it boosts their self-esteem, and they feel more confident and comfortable knowing that they're able to blend in with everybody else.
Operation School Bell volunteers work basically all year round. The most important thing is for the volunteer to enjoy working with children. And ours do. It's a real calling for them. And the volunteers really enjoy that. Enjoy seeing the joy on the children's faces, the smiles on their faces. It's just a great reward for everyone.
Thank you again for the money that you receive, or that we received to help serve the children and youth at Youth Services of Creek County. The money that we received, we used to repair, or actually replace, a windshield on our 12-passenger van and repaint it. So what that van does for us is, last year we served 467 clients at Youth Services, and that van transports many of them to places like school, recreational activities, creative activities such as art, some to therapy, and every year and every day we take those kids that live with us in our children's shelter to various events, different activities. And when we're on activities, not only is it educational, it's recreational, it's therapeutic, it helps those kids that live with us, most of which are in foster care, waiting on foster homes, heal every day. And all the kids that we serve are from traumatic backgrounds and past. Most are abused and neglected. And so when they come to live with us at Youth Services, that van is not only a piece of transportation, but it's our gateway, it's our passport into a new life. It's teaching those kids that there's a different way to live. And it also teaches our parents and our clients and our other programs that we have, not only is it their transportation, but it's a way for them to get to where they need to be. So to parenting classes, to first-time offender programs, but it's also an escape. It's a way out. It's opening new doors for them and allowing us to help them get to where they need to be to a better future. So thank you again for allowing us to be a recipient of your grant. Again, like I said, we replaced a new windshield and we painted the van. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Tulsa Habitat for Humanity, I'm really pleased to be here to thank you all so much for your grant. Tulsa Habitat for Humanity builds homes, communities, and hope. And today there's so many worthy causes. It's wonderful to hear all the good that's going on just right here in this room, thanks to the Rotary Foundation. And what we were able to do with our grant money is to, what we hope is stretch our gift even further. We have 2 thrift stores that we operate, with all the proceeds going back into our programs to build homes in partnership with families who need them. And we were able to purchase several clothing donation bins that are co-branded with the Tulsa Habitat for Humanity logo and the Rotary logo. And those bins will be a sustaining source of revenue for us, because they give people the opportunity to continue donating their clothing, which can then go into our thrift store. And once that clothing is sold, we build more homes. So I always say to people, you know, who would have thought you could build homes with some of your old shoes and some gently worn jackets and shirts? But the reality is you can build homes with those things. And these donation bins will allow us to continue that gift by continuing those donations coming in and giving us a way to have them come in. So again, thank you so much. We appreciate the gift, and we welcome anyone who ever wants to come by for a site visit. We'd love to show you what we're about. So thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, Aaron, and Cheryl. We appreciate, again, everything that you're doing. So you heard where we're, I hear an alarm go off. Uh-oh. It's usually not good. So we're helping children, we're helping mothers. And help. Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't drive into water, Stephen says. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Don't worry. So we're helping children and we're helping mothers, and that's one of the goals of Rotary International, is to be able to help children and mothers, because we know that if we can lift the children up and we can lift the mothers up, then that's going to lift society up. So thank you for what you're doing there. And one of the goals of Rotary International is to fund sustainable projects. And you heard with Habitat for Humanity, that is truly a sustainable project. By donating clothes, that helps build more houses, and that's certainly sustainable. So thank you again for all you're doing. And I'd like to, at this point, a lot of work went into selecting the recipients of these grants last spring. And so I would like to ask last year's Community Grants Committee to please stand so that we can say thank you. Come on, stand up. You know, I've served on that committee, and that is one of those committees that is obviously very rewarding, but it can be also somewhat frustrating because the people that serve on that committee have hearts for what we do and for what the needs are in our community. And so it's tough narrowing down, and we have a given amount of money that we can give away. And so I appreciate the efforts that committee goes through and does to help us further our cause through our foundation. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce past President Tom Klenda. And Tom's going to come up and recognize our Rotary Club of Tulsa Foundation Fellows. Tom?
Thank you, President Mike. That was a flood alert, so I'm glad I'm up here on the stage, a little higher ground. On behalf of the trustees of our club foundation and the members of our club foundation development committee, and special thanks to our committee chair, Luann Buehlinger, it is my pleasure to recognize our fellow Rotarians who have made contributions to our foundation, which have moved them up on our ladder of levels of giving. We have 3 Rotarians who have moved up, and please stand as I call your name, and we'll recognize all 3 at the same time. First, our newest Club Foundation Fellow, for contributions from $500 to $2,500, is Michelle Place. Next, our newest Bronze Foundation Fellow for contributions from $2,500 up to $7,500 is Bob Lundgren. And our newest Silver Foundation Fellow for contributions of $7,500 up to $1,500 is Clark Southmaid, and I think he's out of town today, but let's give him a round of applause. And then if Joe Moran can join me here on stage, and then also Sandy Siegfried, who's representing our trustees to help present the award. Our next presentation is for our newest Pillar of the Community Fellow, Joe Moran. Our Pillar of Community Fellow is for cumulative contributions to our club foundation in the amount of $50,000 and above. As our newest Pillar of the Community Fellow, Joe will be receiving the Crystal Trophy. And please join me once again in recognizing Joe Moran as our newest Pillar of the Community Fellow. Thank you, Joe. Our final presentation is for our newest Allen Edwards Society member, Scott Philstrip. And Scott, if you'll please come forward here on stage. The Allen Edwards Society is named after past President Allen Edwards, who started our club foundation back in 1972. Since then, our club foundation has made $5.8 million in grants to local Tulsa nonprofit organizations, such as the organizations represented here today, and then also to our international projects, such as our Nicaragua water well drilling projects. Our Allen Edwards Society recognizes planned gifts of $25,000 or more to our club foundation by charitable bequest in a will or trust, by making a beneficiary designation of life insurance or a beneficiary designation of an IRA. As our newest Allen Edwards Society member, Scott will be receiving the Crystal Tower here on the table. And please join in recognizing Scott as our newest member of our Allen Edwards Society. Thank you, Sandy. For more information on ways to contribute to our club foundation, please contact one of the members of our foundation committee, Luann, Del Dreyer, Michelle Place, or me. Oh, this was the part that they said was cut, but we have time. Okay. In addition to our financial contributions, it's important to remember all the ways that our Club Rotarians give of their time, where they volunteer as the United Way Day of Caring, volunteer as a reading partner at Celia Clinton Elementary, ring bells for Salvation Army, work on Shop with a Cop, or all of these other projects. We have committed Rotarians following our motto, service above self. Our biggest annual fundraiser for our club foundation is our Henry P. Iba Citizen Athlete Award. And here's a short video about our IBA awards.
Everywhere you look these days, you find great athletes, men and women who have trained all of their lives to reach their peak. These sports warriors can be found at the highest level of competition. But the competitor who's harder to find, the person we don't hear enough about, is the true citizen athlete. The positive role model who gives time and energy so others can benefit. Not because it's part of a master PR plan or it's the right thing to do, but because deep down inside, it's what these athletes want to do. The Henry P. Iba Citizen Athlete Awards honor those who have excelled in their sport and have shown by their actions a true desire to help others. This combination of athlete, citizen, and role model is what Mr. Iba was all about. Coach, teacher, mentor, but always Mr. Iba. Not because he demanded it, but because he deserved it. You see, even though many thought he was a pretty darn good basketball coach, 767 wins in his college coaching career, back-to-back national championships, three-time Olympic coach. Yeah, even though he knew a thing or two about basketball, his great gift was teaching his players about life. He taught them a commitment to excellence both on and off the court. Mr. Iba's intensity and caring spilled onto his players.
I never heard him say a harsh word to one of my teammates.
Mr. Iba died in 1993 at the age of 88. These Citizen Athlete Awards, named in his honor, began the very next year. The very first keynote was given by Mike Krzyzewski, longtime coach at Duke.
I first got to know him in 1984 in the Olympics, and I was a special assistant to Coach Knight during the Olympics. That meant I drove the bus. I did just about anything they wanted me to do, and I did it, even though I was the coach at Duke at that time, because I knew that being around Coach Knight, who's a great coach, I would have the opportunity to meet other great people. I thought I was a pretty good coach 10 years ago. I think I'm a much better coach now, and a lot of that has to do with meeting Coach Iba. I was always very jealous of Coach Iba because he had as many vowels in his 3-letter name as I have in my 10-letter name. For me, the summer of '84 to spend with Coach Iba turned my life around as a coach. And since then, we've gone to 9 Final Fours. You would have loved Coach Iba because Coach Iba never hit the wall. In naming this award after Coach Iba, we have put ourselves in a position where not only his name, but the ideals that he taught his players, his assistant coaches, stands, the people who watch his team play, we've made sure that those things will never hit the wall either. And that's why this is an important event, and that's why we have to make sure it goes on and on.
The Henry P. Iba Citizen Athlete Awards, celebrating the best in sports.
So that was a shameless plug for the upcoming IBA Awards banquet. But serious, the banquet is our biggest opportunity to have a big infusion of funds into our foundation. And Tricia and her committee for next year's 25th IBA Awards banquet have really been working hard already. So we hope you'll support them and consider buying tickets or buying tables for that. There'll be more to come on that. And Bob Lenocker did not make it here today, but it's hard to imagine that over 25 years ago, kind of like Alan Edwards, you know, he had a dream. And that's one of the things I love about this Rotary Club. You have someone that has a dream of something good to do for the community, and Rotarians rally around that person, and look what's come out of that. That's really raised the awareness, not only of the Rotary Club, the IBA Banquet has, of the Rotary Club. It's recognized some really great individuals who happen to be athletes, and it's raised a lot of money for our foundation. So Michelle, Bob, Clark, Joe, and Scott, congratulations, and thank you for all that you're doing to further the work of our foundation. So I've worried like a week about this meeting because it was so jam-packed, and we're running ahead of schedule, which may be a good thing if the floodwaters are coming. So it's a good thing I'm a civil engineer. I had to build 3 bridges to get from the parking lot to the meeting this morning. That was crazy. Okay, so now we're going to introduce our third group of recipients, Lindsay Hughes with Counseling and Recovery, if you can make your way up here. Siobhan, I knew I was going to stumble on one of these. Etir, sorry, I apologize. I've been doing that weekly, so don't take it personally. And then Ron Prettle with the Tulsa Symphony Orchestra. So Lindsay? Nope, you're not Lindsay. Matthew, that's not Lindsay. I even got that wrong, sorry.
Lindsay's here, but she plugged me to come
Oh,
up.
okay.
My name's Matthew Crum. I'm the director of the Calm Center. And on behalf of the Calm Center and Counseling Recovery Services, I want to say a big thank you for our gift. The Calm Center started coming out of the community a need. In 2007, community mental health providers got together and noticed that there was a gap in the services that are provided for our youth. There were a number of inpatient psychiatric hospitals, and there was an abundance of outpatient providers serving kids in the community. But what about those kids that weren't doing well enough to stay in the home but didn't need to go to a psychiatric inpatient facility? So out of that need, the Calm Center was born, and for the last 10 years, we've been serving about 500 to 600 youth each year from the ages of 10 to 17. We provide them a safe place, usually for about a week, where they learn to follow some of these things. We teach them about democracy, we teach them about social learning, social responsibility, we teach them about nonviolence, and we try to provide them an opportunity to build a safe plan to return to the community. In doing so, we have a secure environment, and so the gift that you guys have provided is going to allow us to renovate our keyless entry system. So the system that we had 10 years ago is not updatable. The software is not updatable. So you guys are providing an opportunity for us to maintain our security and safety, to keep the kids safe and to keep those families secure and knowing their kids are safe. So thank you very much. I appreciate your gift.
Good afternoon. My name is Siobhan Etir, and I'm the principal and superintendent at Town and Country School. We are a private nonprofit school for students with learning disabilities, and we do that by providing a nurturing environment for academic, social, and personal growth. Our students struggle, and at the public school currently, they are very much struggling. And the population that we have are the ones that just absolutely cannot make it at the public school. They struggle with autism, dyslexia, attention deficit disorder. We do everything we can to make our school environment as much like public school as we can without losing the integrity of that one-on-one support that they really need. The grant that we received from the Rotary Club was for textbooks for our middle school history class. Our students, well, children in general now, are really geared toward being entertained during their learning. Not that I'm not as well, I like to be entertained. But the textbooks that we had were over 15 years old, and the kids were very focused on the fact that their clothes were not in style anymore. They wouldn't read the textbooks, they didn't want to hold the textbooks, they were torn up, shredded, taped together, and the very gracious grant that we received from the Rotary Foundation allowed us to purchase textbooks that are newer, and the clothes are much updated, and the history is still the same though. But to the kids, it's more interactive. It comes with computer interactive software and things where they can actually interact and learn more STEM activities and better skills on integrating with the community. So thank you very much for your very gracious grant.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting us. I guess now that we're running ahead of schedule, we'll be able to show that 45-minute video. Seriously, thank you very much for inviting us today, and I do want to very briefly share some things with you about the services that the Tulsa Symphony provides for our community, and specifically for our education community, through our education outreach. And our education outreach director, David Carter, is joining us here today. One of the programs that's been a great partnership, and I believe we're in about the 8th or 9th year of it at this point, is with the Oklahoma Aquarium. We have a program we call Symphony by the Sea, and when we first started this program, we had no idea what it was going to do, exactly how it was going to work, or where it was going to go, and it's turned into being an amazing success for us. It provides an experience for more than 1,000 elementary students each year by combining introduction to marine science and wildlife with an introduction to the elements of music. And these performances and info kind of concerts take place in front of 3 different marine exhibits at the aquarium. You truly have to see it to believe it. They're taking place next month, and if anybody would be interested in strolling through and seeing what happens there, I think you'd find it really interesting. Because it is a very unique combination, the only program we know of like this in the country, and you might be very interested in seeing how it works. A second program we have is at Rosa Parks Early Childhood Exploration Program in the Union School District, and this provides music enrichment for 3- and 4-year-olds during the school day. This, again, is a rather unique program. We've tried to find another one like it, so we have a mentor someplace in the country, and we haven't been able to find it yet, and it's doing wonderful things for these very young students. Then we have an Artists in the School program. This is a partnership with the Arts and Humanities Council of Tulsa that works with us to provide arts experiences, music experiences for K through 12 students. Another program that we feature is Tulsa music students, actually from the greater Tulsa area, and we provide opportunity for them, for their schools or for private studios, to perform short recitals at the Performing Arts Center before our classic concerts. So our audience gets to come and hear some young and budding instrumentalists and young students display their talent, and then from there we go to the regular concert in the PAC with the orchestra, and we recognize these students and their teachers, and they're all provided tickets for the concerts, and that's turned into a wonderful program for us as well. We also have a partnership, quite logically, with the Tulsa Youth Symphony. We provide coaches and instrumental coaching and whatever they need. They're a great partner. We've been working with them for many, many years, and since the beginning of the orchestra, and it's very rewarding to work with these students who have such an interest in classical music. And finally, there is what I guess we could refer to as our 900-pound gorilla. We have the Carnegie Hall Link-Up Program. We are one of 100 orchestras approximately in the country that offers this program, and this is an international program. 3 years ago, we started with a pilot program of just 1,200 students. The following year, we went to 12,000. This year, we're in excess of 17,000 students, third, fourth, and fifth graders that we'll be serving, and we are the fastest growing Carnegie Hall program in the country. A part of the program is creative, in that the students create their own music, opportunity that they get to do through this program. They study different aspects of music over 3 or 4 months in the classroom. Carnegie Hall provides the new curriculum for these teachers, and you know, with this situation we have with education across the state, new curriculum is hard to find, and there hasn't been much of that for teachers at all, and they really appreciate the opportunity to teach new materials. And a part of this is the creative part of it, and I've got just a very short video of one of those presentations by fourth graders in Broken Arrow. This took place at the culminating concert. The students study the literature, they study the music, and then they all come together, bringing their recorders, and they actually interact and play with the orchestra from the audience as they're all a part of the program. It's an amazing thing to see. And again, we'd love to provide the opportunity for you to attend one of those concerts if you have an interest in it. So this is these are fourth graders from Broken Arrow. It's just wonderful to know that each year more and more students are having the opportunity to do their own creative work in music and the arts, but also learn about music and also have the opportunity to actually perform with a symphony orchestra. So many of them, most of them, had never had an experience like that before. Just walking into the PAC or the Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center is just a wonderful experience for them and something that they'll always forget. Always remember throughout their lives, and hope that make that initial connection in the third, fourth, and fifth grade, which is the optimum time to do it with the arts, and that will continue to be a part of their lives as they go on. I want to thank the Rotary Club Foundation for their support for education outreach program by allowing us to purchase an electric piano with the capability to produce all kinds of wonderful sounds, which we use extensively throughout our education outreach program. I want to thank John Dellavedova and Pedro Figueroa for helping us through the grant process, and Steve Robards today for the help with the program. Also want to thank Bob Sade and Sade Music for making sure that your contribution bought the most piano for the dollars you invested in us. Thank you very much, Bob. We appreciate that. And Tulsa Symphony greatly appreciates everything the Rotary does for this community, and especially your support and contributions to the arts and the educational community. Thank you from all of us at Tulsa Symphony for your partnership.
Those are 9 amazing organizations, aren't they? Let's give them one more round of applause for all the work they're doing in our community. So it's partnerships like that that can stretch our dollars and make more of an impact on our community. So again, thank you to all the donors to our foundation. You're doing good stuff out there. So a book recognizing our program today will be presented to our adopted school, Celia Clinton. The book title is One Hen, How a Small Loan Made a Big Difference. Very appropriate. So thank you very much. Now we have an exciting side mic announcement from Miss Becky Fields and Monica. Uh-oh, this looks like trouble.
Congratulations, you did it.
Woo-hoo.
So we set our goal for 7 new applications for new members in September, and we have reached 12 new members. So ask a Rotarian to get something done and they'll do it. So anyway, we want to recognize and congratulate everyone who was able to bring in, sponsor a new application this month. If you'll just please stand where you are, and Monica and Lynette will bring around some little swag to you, and then we'll have our drawing for our grand prize. Jerry Barrientos, Lynette Potter, Casey King, Phil Lakin, Scott Philstrip, Tim Colwell, Roger Ramsayer, Trish Kirkstra, and Barney James. Thank you, everyone, for bringing guests and sharing Rotary with your friends. So let's do the drawing really quickly. As a reminder, the drawing was for a weekend for 4 at Lynette Potter's condo up on Monkey Island. Lynette, do you want to do the honors and
Thank you,
draw
Lynette.
for us? Try not to draw your name. That would be awkward.
Very, very awkward. I won't even, I'll put it back there. So this person, we could actually have a girls' weekend. Jerry Barrientos?
All right, Jerry.
Thank you, everyone.
So I'd like to be part of that weekend. That sounds fun. Especially if Trisha's going to be there now that I know she's got a wild side. So Becky, thank you very much for all you did this past month. That is amazing. I got to tell you, and you all are amazing for stepping up. And we had, I haven't seen the tally yet on how many visitors we had, but we had a boatload of visitors. And thank you for inviting your friends to join Rotary. That was a tough month, too, because we had an off-site meeting, we've had rain, but people, you all stepped up, and so thank you very much. So we've got 12 new Rotarians that we're going to bring into our fold and going to be able to do even more great things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So a couple announcements, and then we'll wrap up. Thanks to Alicia and David Downing, Social Committee, 2 awesome events this past week. The TU football game and the Thunder game were just amazingly fun. Those are great opportunities to really get to know your Rotarians better and just really have a good time. So thank you, David, and wherever Alicia is, we'll thank her too. She's probably wore out. She's been going hard. Business Visitation Day is coming up. We need some hosts. This is a great opportunity to brag about your company and not pay a fine for it. So step up if you can, host a handful of Rotarians to a couple dozen, whatever you want to do. Let's sign up, get with Rochelle in the office, and she'll get you on the program as a host. Upcoming programs, Next week is our member, Stephanie Rotarian. Stephanie's, in addition to all that she does for Rotary, she's also chair of Tie Pros this year. And so she's going to share with us how Tie Pros has become quite the game changers in our community. And then the week after that, we have Moises Echeverria, who is president and CEO of the Oklahoma Center for Community and Justice. And Moises is vice chair for Tie Pros, so he's going to be chair after Stephanie. So we got quite the youth movement going here. OCCJ's mission is to promote positive relations between all people. Moises is a voice for this organization that promotes diversity and inclusion in our community. And with the recent developments in the country and even in our city here, Moises' message will be especially meaningful and timely. So that'll be 2 great back-to-back programs. So, and then after that, we have Business Visitation Day, October 25th. So remember those programs. Let's continue reaching out. Tell your Rotary story, and don't forget to bring a friend to Rotary next week. We are dismissed.